Oregon Twitch. Mr. Coffee, thanks for joining us. Today is Mr. Coffee's day off, hopefully. He can be here for his most important job, being our moderator on Twitch. Senor Coffee, hola. Yeah, you can do two at once, like Epishin. Mr. Slohan, save time. Support the cigarette industry. Alright, no, seriously. We will get underway. I'm taking challenges, sweet and easy to beat. The theme of the day, 5 plus 3, guys. I've got it on the bottom of the overlay, so no one forgets. The only challenge time we're taking today is 5 plus 3 casual. What's up, everyone? Next week starts my next tournament. The next tournament in my great career, which spans 3 decades or 4 decades now. Let's see, there was the end of the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, and now 2010s. Actually, so the 2010s, 2020s, 2010s, 2000s, 1990s. So this is my 5th decade. Nice. My 5th decade in chess. I caught the end of one and just got another one. Started up. Didn't know if I would make it to the 2020s. What's up? So next Thursday I have a tournament, guys. We'll be missing some streams on the evening. I think the evening end. We'll probably do some quick streams in the mornings after next Thursday when my tournament starts. Let me get underway here with a warm-up game. I haven't played it all, so I'm going to take this challenge with Imre. I've got a correspondence challenge from a 660 USCF player. Imre is next up. I'm going to take a quick game here just to warm up. So Imre gets Imre gets a challenge from a full-strength player, basically. If I'm not warmed up, I'm horrible. Actually, I think I probably play like I'm 2000 or something if I don't play at least a couple warm-up games. So let's see what we get here at the lobby. Okay. I'm going to change something in my title. Looks funny without spacing between the exclamation mark. Like the new English coins. They forgot a comma. Alright. But anyway, let's take a quick challenge here. Just for warm-up purposes. 2190. No. Too strong. Come on, guys. These guys are too strong. Otto. 1100. He's gone. Quick warm-up game. Alright, 5-0 against the 2000. That's pretty strong. He's gone as well. 5 to 3. Perfect time control. Shakira. $40.90. Yeah, this time it will be with the second time control, which is very, very important for me. Oh, that's such a annoying move, the C6 versus everything. It just takes the fun out of it. Come on, play aggressively. Good morning. Yeah, my last tournament was basically game in 90 with 30-second increments. And just watching not only my games, but the other players, just get this distinct impression that the end of the game is like totally random. I mean, I played a lot of sudden death, Mr. Coffee, but you come to expect that, you know, in game 30, game 60, game 90, but this is like a FIDE rated tournament. And I always felt like that was more serious. Maybe it's not anymore. That's something we have to come to. The realization that FIDE ratings are not so serious anymore. They're no longer more significant than USCF or national ratings because of the cheapening of the restrictions on time controls. I mean, it's still a little bit better, but I think you can even have, I guess that's the fastest time control, game 90. Actually, I don't think they allow game 60 with 30-second increments. Does anyone know that? I assume that's not possible. London system, that's all anyone plays. Freaking London system. Did I end up doing the game reviews yesterday? Yeah, that's what we do. I did about 9. We analyzed about 9 games yesterday. Oh, LVN. We did one of your games. Yeah, it was an interesting game. You should check out the replay. You can check it out here on Twitch. I just sacked the pawn. Not sure I really meant to do that. Takes, knight takes. I didn't really mean to sack a pawn. What am I doing? It's supposed to be a 1600, 1500 in bullet. We should be able to trick them somehow. All right, it's one pawn sack, but then my structure is going to be wrecked as well. All right, so will hers. Actually, she has bishop g4 now. Didn't even do it. Oh man. You have 2 good moves, bishop g4. See, this is what happens when I'm not warmed up. You have bishop g4 and just takes on d3. She just believed me. But too much of an effort to be safe here on black's part. Now white's better again. Guys, you can also check out the replays on my YouTube channel, which I'm going to be bringing back to life. It's been sort of dormant. But I think in the next 6 months I'm going to start, sooner than that, but over the next 6 months I'm going to start creating some new material for YouTube. Video chess training on YouTube is my channel. So you can always, the point of that, bringing that up, you can always see the replays over on YouTube because they do expire on Twitch. If there's a stream where I analyze one of your games or you're just interested. Shakira went from winning to losing in about 5 moves. But again, I really don't play well when I'm not warmed up yet. I just played e4, hanging a pawn essentially. It's not even a very good pawn sacrifice. Probably I should just recapture, but I tried to be fancy with knight h4. She didn't exploit it. I mean, I guess it's a female, the A ending, but not necessarily. I mean, I'm kind of used to that from Spanish and English, but in Hungary, for example, a lot of male nicknames. Hungarian uses A endings for male names, for diminutive. So that's very likely not necessarily a female. Oh, that knight on d6 is so strong. Yeah, it's game over. So anyway, LVN, I thought your game was a cool game. You played interesting opening. Well, you can hear my comments about it, but I'd never seen anyone play bishop g5, but I'm not that familiar with that closed Sicilian in general. Yeah, black is toast in this position. I gave her one opportunity, actually 2 opportunities. The vacuum. You get a lot of vacuuming. It's back again. Somebody took the Roomba from my mom's house when I was having an estate sale, but I don't remember where it went or who bought it or whatever. It just sort of disappeared from the sale. That's weird. Speaking of vacuums, anyway. But vacuuming is not a good thing to do when you're down material to begin with. Actually, that's a problem. Knight c8. Was e5 hanging? e5. Me? Hang a central pawn. No, move 10. 11, whatever. Move 11. He's not here today. A Roomba. I suspect one of the organizers of the estate sale took it themselves at a discount. Just popped in my head, you know, when I had this estate sale, I kind of kept track of everything except for a few things that they just sort of disappeared. Don't remember selling the Roomba, but it disappeared anyway. You know, somebody tried to steal my... This is funny. When I was having the sale, oh, what was it? The coffee, something to do with coffee. Maybe my coffee grinder. Can't remember. Wasn't the coffee grinder. Something I was actively using, they tried to take. Oh, and these old ladies like got in my cabinets and started taking the food out of my cabinets. There was a sign on the door that said, like, do not open this cabinet or whatever, private. And somebody had moved it and stuck it on the counter instead. So these old ladies were like taking my food and stuff. It's like, get out of there. That's my food. Alright guys, this is just a warm-up game. And it was necessary because look, already I'm just starting to play a little bit better. I hung the pawn on move 11. Look how black reacted though. Too much respect. She's starting to defend, he or she. I don't know if it's a male or a female or gender neutral. But I'm biased as an American. The A ending I always assume is female. Living in Hungary, we know that's not the case. Gabika. All right, let's go. Mr. Coffee. So, what was I missing? I can't remember what it was. This is annoying now. They're actually trying to defend this position. Stubborn. Yeah, I was planning on giving the exchange. I was going to wait a moment. But I don't see why I needed to, actually. This is a strong idea. I don't know why I thought I needed to hesitate and play A3 first. That's silly. This is just strong. I mean, those pawns win the game. But the access to the 7th rank is good suggestion for Mr. Slowhand. I don't know about always give the exchange, but be willing to sacrifice back material when necessary. Some people overdo it. Alright, this seems like it was a forever game. Goodbye. My pawns are faster. Whew, that seemed to take forever for a warm-up game. It's still not over. And if I play rook e8, d3, this works. Oh, that's evil. Evil. d3. Come on. Ah, you didn't make it. d3, rook takes d8, d2, rook h8, check. Beautiful. Alright, so this is a correspondence game. This is Imre. We're not taking just subscriber challenges, so everyone's welcome to play. Feel a little bit warmed up better. Still not fully warmed up, but still better than I was. And it was worth playing a quick game to warm up, guys. Yesterday we had an interesting game from Arsenal fan in Aliekin's defense. And actually, didn't Imre already play the 4 pawns attack? Don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I still don't really know what I want to do here. Did you play f4 against me? Was that it? It was either the 4 pawns attack like proper or f4 on move 4. Oh yeah, that was it. f4, bishop f5, c4, knight b4, wasn't it? I really need to learn a proper variation here because the line that I play with bishop g4 kind of sucks. Don't know if it's on purpose, by the way, but the stream doesn't show the ratings. Nothing is on purpose. It's a conspiracy. I can move it over. It might have actually got bumped. I think it just got bumped. Wait a minute. Thank you. No, it's not on purpose. Once in a while my windows get kind of pushed out of place. There I have the leaf in the way. That's the only problem. The ratings for the ratings to be fully visible, there's a leaf on h7. Then we're going to get complaints about that, but whatever. All right. There's a leaf on h7. Uber driver, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being a subscriber. What's this opening called? Don't make me pronounce the great master's name. Elyukin. Elyukin. As you know, my Russian pronunciation sucks. Professor Belazersky was very generous letting me graduate from her class at Boston University. I didn't buy her chocolate or anything. I should have given her like a present. Okay. But I never did ask for help on chess master name pronunciation. Alyukin. Even if I try to say it right, like the Russian speakers are going to be like, no, that's not right. It happens every time I really try hard to pronounce something. It doesn't matter if it's like Dutch, Brazilian, Russian. The harder I try to pronounce something right, the worse it's received. H3. Weird. I guess there's nothing wrong with bishop h5. g4 looks... Well, there's always like g4, bishop g6, e6. That can be tricky. I don't speak Dutch, but there are some Dutch words that I'm not going to say. That's the problem, you see. You found it, you detected it without even trying. Like, that word is the whole point, like why I'm not allowed to speak Dutch words. The harder I try to get it right, the worse I do. No, I don't say that word anymore. It's just some small fishing village anyway, really insignificant. Okay, queen takes f3, knight c6. It's not like a major word in a Dutch language or something that's vitally important. We can just kind of skip past that. All right, but weird opening. I've never played this position, I don't believe. e6. Asterbate would like that move. Nothing like a good mate-in-one threat. It's an important word to ask international students pronounce here. You seriously control people with that? I didn't know it was like a troll outside of chess. So bishop e3, interesting. We need a little bit of white square control. Whatever GP Bear just said, it sounds like something from Horror Story. The Shoggoths. Alright. Imre sacrificing a pawn. But I'm not sure if he has enough objectively. Though, where does my king go? We play queen d7. I'm suspicious of this move. Maybe I should just sack the pawn back with castles. No, he's playing tricky chess here. It's not a bad move. Probably queen g4 is best. He's defending d4. Speculative sacrifices I don't believe in. No. No. So now, I suppose there's a threat by black. I.e. king. I love it how we have to arbitrarily spell like Cyrillic names and with English characters. Makes it easy for foreign players to have like more than one name in the chess database. I played this guy from Ukraine. He had like a secret identity. It was impossible to find his games in the database because he actually had two names. He had been using two different spellings of his Cyrillic name to avoid detection in the chess database. By the time I realized it was too late, I had only seen like 6 of his games or something. I think a lot of other countries' players do that too. So this is the threat here. It looks a little time consuming. Maybe I go for giving him another pawn. Have another. I bet this isn't the best move, but my king loves me for it. Now he's got legitimately what? 2 pawns for the piece. Still, there's a prospect for knight e4. I'm having my doubts about this. White squares. What you got to do is read your opponent mind. Read your opponent's mind. I think Karpov was really good at that. You know, just knowing what your opponent is trying to do all the time and just frustrate them and constantly try to prevent what they're trying to do, while slowly pushing your own agenda. I see that his only threat is like knight here. So I want to... There's no consideration of something like knight to b4. Too far away from the center. He's done a good job though, avoiding exchanges. Now I wish I was castled queenside. Maybe I should have just taken on d4 last move objectively. I'm obviously not taking on e3 to open up this f-file, but I don't think that white has enough here in terms of compensation. Okay guys, welcome to my stream. We're taking challenges, open challenges. Anybody with at least an established rating, more than 50 games, I'm willing to play. It was speculative opening by white. Last time he got caught in a trap playing f4, bishop f5, c4, knight b4. Mr. Slow. I'm not in the mood for another French defense, buddy. Had enough French defense for this week. For last week as well. He won a game. It was an interesting game. We went over it yesterday. It was actually really close until I blundered in the ending. It was a pretty good game in the French defense. But man, it's a real schlag going through that French defense. Especially in a fast time control. I hate playing the French. Even more so in Blitz. What do you play? King's Indian? Uber driver, you've been known to play the French defense. Well, let's play something proper. I play a lot of bishop g5. But I know that it's not critical. Since Boria beat me. Boris Gulko. When someone beats you with something, you can use it, take it, turn it into a weapon, and use it against other people. Alright. So King's Indian. Mr. Slowhand, I guess, likes closed positions. French defense. Ardell Plata, King's Indian. The two knights defense gets some play for white, actually. What? Where do you guys? Where did that? Huh? Van Bailey. Let's play the Van Bailey. Actually, this is the old way to play with white. Though, from the 90s. Look. You are my son. But, it went out of fashion. It's always the Dutch that decide the... It was Loic van Wely who was playing this a lot, and then Ivan Sokolov started playing Rook E1. This became the main line. It sounds better, though, if we make the Star Wars reference. Luke. Don't even get me started. I mispronounced something? No, you don't say. I'm not even sure. I haven't played this in ages. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to play Knight G5 or not. I guess this is theory. I probably had games like this. Going back to the 80s, folks. Actually, I used to play C5, which is really old school. That's like late 70s, old school. But, alright. I could do a class on the evolution of the bayonet attack. Mr. Slowhand seems to know this. I'm not sure anymore. What's theory? I mean, he was threatening Queen B6. Loic. I can teach you guys how to speak in Hungarian. The only language that I'm even relatively knowledgeable. I should have just stuck with Spanish. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made. Trying to learn starting a second language outside of that was a stupid decision. So I think I've actually played this position. I think I had a game with... No, I can't remember. I might have had a game with Mike Casella. The Uber driver would know. But Mike used to play the Grunfeld, didn't he? I had a game against somebody, maybe almost the same position. Don't remember who it was now. C5, D5. That doesn't look right. Oh, you got that move. Master, we learn something new every day. What? Like you know that? Or you've already like seen this trick before? I've never seen this trick my whole life, and he like instantly defends against it. Why don't you just take the pawn with your queen, dude? Can't believe it. Mr. Slow is not slow. Misnamed. Bishop A3. Well, we just have to sack a pawn. There's just no other. There's no other solution here. I'm just trying to think of the best way to do it. I swear it was Casella I had a game with. He's a master from the Connecticut area that moved to California. All right. Man, it's like Uber driver. Mr. Slowhand just has already played this position. Queen e6, rook d6. Give away all my secrets, will you? That's funny though, I've never seen a tactic actually pop up. I used to play this all the time. I never recall that being an issue. It's weird. So now we really just sacked a pawn for the rest of our life. But it's pretty positionally sound. Yeah, I feel like he solved that tactic accidentally. That's weird. So he really didn't see it. He just kind of got lucky. I guess we go rook d6, bishop d6. Then I hang a rook on a1. Wait. I'm about to lose on time. The time use here by Mr. Slowhand, pretty interesting. He's not a big believer in taking his time. Incredible game, though. Despite the fact that he hasn't used his time. It's like he accidentally defended against my tactic, rook takes d6. But he's playing too fast. Complicated position. I don't know. I'm an IM and I need to use time here. He's just like blitzing. He's losing a few pawns. But actually he was up one to begin with. So it's not really that big of an issue. Funny that he's taking time on this move though. I don't think that's one where you have to use a lot of time. There's only one move. So if we're lucky, we win a pawn. You wish you had the slightest idea what's going on. Uber driver, not a King's Indian player. You play e3 against the King's Indian. Lately against me, so you're not interested in an overly theoretical battle, I take it. He's winning his pawn back. The genius. How is he 1800? I don't know, his rating is dubious. I didn't see that. Not the only dubiously rated player on our stream. This was a slightly greedy move. But to each his own. Did he have another move there? Could he have played knight takes b3? He could have played knight takes b3. I assume he's playing a lot of bullet or something. Explains the tempo of his game. Why did I play pawn takes pawn? Why not? Oh, you hung a rook and resigned? I didn't even see it. I was going to take an h6. That was my pre-programmed plan to try to play for the mate that wasn't even a threat on b8. Man, dude. This was a good game. Until the end. We started blundering. F3, H6. Garcia Palermo. Deep black. Not too many games here. We're following Kekliidze versus Hans Ulrich Grunberg from 2000. Black is better. Alright. Next game. LVN. Yeah, I would never resign there. It's embarrassing to drop your rook, but I'm particularly bad because I'm not playing a lot of 5-0 lately. Doing commentary in 7+3 games doesn't do a lot of good for my speed of play in 5-0. Yeah, the Taimanov was one of the early creators, guys. The creators of the bayonet. Classical King's Indian. He was ahead of his time. But I noticed also, yeah, Taimanov was yeah, you're right. Taimanov was the first one to play b4. Well, at least the first well-known that I know of. Top player to find the right way for white. I played this the other day in the Simul game. We'll say that word against Alyukhin. Nefedov, where is he? I need my Russian pronunciation training. This is a famous line. Right? Botvinnik. Okay, so this is also a variation, right? D4. I think you're supposed to play bishop b4. Is this a variation or is it just bad for black? Bishop b4, d takes e5, knight takes e4. Queen g4. Is that like a catastrophe? Knight takes c3, a3. We can check after the game. But I suspect now white just has a clear advantage. Clear advantage, simple. Simple chess, nothing fancy. Easy and sweet. And a respect for fancy chess. Sorry. No. We have the two bishops and a strong central pawn on e4. Mr. Slowhand. Yeah, wow, impressive. Knowledge of the King's Indian. I don't think I've ever played a string game with g3. That's a very old system that I don't play anymore. In fact, it's so old that I don't expect anyone to know what they're doing. But you handled it well. Alright. I think it's important to come back to the theoretical relics once in a while. You know, older variations that people forgot about, that aren't trendy anymore, they get recycled. Do you think, like, you know, the 11-year-old kid that you're going to play in your next tournament knows theory from the early 90s? Probably not. Just recycle it. It's good for the climate, the chess climate. Okay, I could have tried to play f4. That's a very awkward move there. that black's playing queen d7. But I doubt there's anything I can do. You know, I can't win a piece, f4, knight c6. I have to move the queen. Then he... Yeah, this looks good for us, though. Mr. Coffee. Do you think black is interested in castling queenside? We know what the opponent's going to do. We have an advantage built in. If you can predict your opponent's plans. He clearly wants to cast queenside, but he can't because of a7 hanging. f4 is probably a good move. f4, knight c6, queen e3. Now we're threatening f5, so he has to play something like bishop g4. Well, that's where I stop for a moment, because I really don't want him to be able to do that. I was also thinking of c5, but c5 runs into knight c6. Maybe that's not a problem. Other interesting moves. Let's try another interesting move. Seems wrong. I should probably just develop my bishop. Now I don't know where to put it, though. Like, none of the squares seems right. I found a reason not to play any of these moves. Probably bishop d2, ironically, is the best move. That's the kind of move that I would probably come up with if I had another 5 minutes to think about this move. This is a mistake to place my f-rook on d1. The f-rook should stay where it is. It might have play frontally. The other rook should come to d1. My problem was that I didn't know where to put my queen's bishop. I wanted to keep this diagonal controlled. I didn't want it to be like bishop g5, knight h7. Bishop g5 is not a bad move, actually. But again, on knight h7, I have to move it again. I mean, I have a rationale for playing. But this mild-mannered bishop d2 was probably the best move. And then I can just play rook d1. And stay flexible. This isn't right. No, black's fishing. A fishing village. So c5, knight c6, queen a4. White has a great position. 2 bishops, central pawn. Save for king. That's like +2. Mahor. Mr. Slowhand's up to 1,000 bits this week, by the way. Made a donation earlier for 100, actually 200 bits to take him up from 800 to 1,000. Guys, I'm doing the simul, so we'll see Mr. Slowhand on Sunday. Whoops. Slippery like an eel. Mr. Coffee. Reminds me a little bit of Someone on Sound. I'm going to have to play h3 now. That's all right. No shame in that. Well, like Uber Driver is saying, he has necessarily weakness in the dark squares. His weakness is my strength. So if he has a way to decoy me from protecting f2, he wins. Therefore, black should try knight to c6 here. Maybe even c5. Is c5 a problem? That'd be kind of messed up. Sort of demented variation. c5, queen takes c5, rook c8. Queen takes a7, rook takes c3. Probably black's going to get mated at the end. Some sort of bishop e5 check and queen a8. Complicated. Yeah, my bishop isn't doing a lot on e2. So this seems like a good move. And then bishop f4 next. Bishop f4. Though in this position I can take. G7 is hanging, but I've got f2 problem. I assume I can just play bishop f4 with advantage. No need for anything fancy. Where's all the viewers? Oh. All right. Friday morning. Sledge is Bob. Who's Sledge? Do I want to know? This is like black's too. Black's played just too recklessly. Tone it down. Now 95. Yeah, I mean, he's just lost. Some streamers have another account where they troll themselves. Imagine that. Only the highest level. Okay, I have a stuffed animal, you know, but I'm not going to make a troll account to troll myself. Oh, you think I might be Bob? Conspiracy theories. That would be sick. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Bob would create, well, he does create accounts to troll other streamers. But, guys, we're taking 5+3 challenges. Everyone's welcome to play. If you have an established account here on lichess and Twitch, on lichess especially, have an established account. But Mr. LVN, tu vas banque. Too crazy for your own good. You're too crazy for your own good, man. But I appreciate the spirit, you know. And it's more fun playing someone who plays wildly aggressively than the London system for a draw, you know. So I appreciate it, you know. J. Daradanas and Mahur. Alright. Guys are welcome to play. 5+3 casual. I'm going to be doing a simul on Sunday, 6:30 p.m. CET. But basically, LVM blundered in the opening. When I play knight takes e5, you have to play bishop takes f2 check, king takes f2, knight takes e5, d4, knight g4 check, knight on e to g4 check, king g1, and then c5. It's a Butterfinic game. 100 selected games. Very important chess book. For me, at least. One of my favorites. The Zaragoza opening. I've played this a couple times. You guys know the stories. Isn't that a bad line because of h3 and bishop g5? In this variation, you're theoretically supposed to play bishop takes f2 check, I believe. There are some positions where it's not so good. The c3. We all know how much I hate the London system. Yeah. And I don't really play the French, but 100 selected games would definitely be in my top 10 reading list. There's so much to be learned from this strategic, systematic, I want to say like human style. It's not really calculation based. I mean, Botvinnik is easier to understand than a lot of other world champions, I think. Well, there goes the long diagonal. We can't do the the double fianchetto here. C'est la vie. White probably should play like knight on bd2 and e4. The position is equal, approximately equal. Because he played c3 rather than c4, he has enough for equality, but he shouldn't really have an advantage. The Sabo Laszlo, we would say. Ask me, what is the Sabo Laszlo Memorial? I'm not even familiar with it. Is there a tournament? For real? It would be Sabo Laszlo, if we're saying it in Hungarian. But if we're going to say it in English, you would do Laszlo first. What are you referring to, Asterbate? The Sabo Laszlo Memorial 2020. I'm not familiar with it. What is it? They're having a tournament here? Of course, Sabo Laszlo was a famous grandmaster from Hungary. The middle of the most active in the middle of the 20th century. I don't know when he died. Obviously a little before my time. All right, so d5, and this drops a pawn. Oh, the Spring Festival? That's 2019. Asterbate. The link you just posted, whatever it is, has 2019 on it. Just letting you know. Asterbate with the sketchy links, always. Okay. Petrosian Memorial. Here. Petrosian Memorial. Now I can play c6, but I have to watch out for b4. So we might be needing an a5 at some point to rule that out. Yeah, I don't really like doing f8. It's very, very passive. We have to do that in some variations of the King's Indian attack. But it's generally preferred not to do that. 2020 Spring Festival. I don't know. I haven't seen any info on it. It should be out, Asterbate. So that's what you're trying to come up with? If you have a link to the 2020 Hungarian Spring Festival, feel free to drop it in the chat there. We had a good open tournament here the last several years. It's an old tradition, but it had died out, but it come back. In like April, there's usually an open tournament here in Budapest. And maybe they're calling it a Sabo Laszlo Memorial. I don't know. That's a tournament where Group C wins household goods? What? That sounds like one of the Serbian Blitz tournaments I was talking about. Uh-oh. That's 2019, so it is the Sabo Laszlo. Okay, that's an old link that you put in. Asterbate. You better find a 2020. You better find a 2020 version, if there is one. I'm not even sure, you know. It happens a lot here in Hungary that we have a good tournament one year, and the next year it's like gone because the sponsors pulled the plug on it. We had a very good tournament in Zalakaros, which is now, it was an international chess festival, international chess tournament that was quite strong. Just went back to being very lame again. The Spring Festival was very strong for the last several years, but who knows if it's going to maintain that. Okay, now we can play c6 finally. Or we can maybe try bishop d7. c6 right away, b4. I could play c6 and allow b4 and move my knight to a6. But somehow I like this developing move better. Now the plan would be to take with the bishop on c6. Ultimately, when we play c6. If bishop e3... Nice positional move by white. So I'm not going to be able to avoid that. Now it's still b4. There's a trick I always like in the King's Indian attack. If you play knight h5, white has knight f5. I guess we're going to have to try something different. b5 looks very weakening. It's c6, b4. So I want to sacrifice a piece. Doesn't seem sound. c6, b4, take, knight a6. Takes on c6. That's a problem. Unclear. I don't want to lose on time, but I don't really see anything great here. If he takes, I'm okay, but b4 is unclear. Didn't do it. Doesn't seem as dangerous. I could play b5. This looks pretty active for black. He has the critical continuation there, b4. When I had to take and play knight a6, probably. Andy Soltis would like this. Very Soltis-like. King's Indian. He liked to play on the queen side. This sort of b5 stuff. I feel like it's sanction event. What? A sanction event? Wow, knight c3. Kind of a cool idea. White's playing very positionally. Alright, so b4, knight b5. Can we give up our white squared bishop? It looks like we can. Normally I don't want to give up that piece. It's our good bishop, but he's losing a pawn. Pawn is pawn. Like a good positional game by white. I'm not sure if he should do this, but I guess there's some justification for sacking and playing, giving up the white square or the dark square bishop for opposite colored bishops. Nice game by white. Rook c6 with compensation. Tremendous game for his rating, I think. He almost can anticipate what I'm doing. Feels like. So he has knight takes e5 in this position. Eventually made a blunder. That's what he should have done before. Should have played knight d2 anyway. It's too late now. Tremendous game by White until the end when he dropped a piece. 1,000 rating points lower. And really, he was totally in the game. Just a pawn down with some compensation. But now it's sort of beyond doubt. Okay, you can play. Should have played knight d2, winning the pawn on b3. But nothing's going to save you now. Especially not that. The unexpected. Wow, dude. So I think as far as like move 26. No, I blundered. I had knight takes e4. So bishop f1 is a blunder. But it's a tough position. He's a pawn down. He can't play knight f3 without dropping this. Black is clearly better. But I still thought he fought a good fight. You know, the computer doesn't like sacrificing the pawn. So it looks like here in move 14 you should just take. And black is slightly better. Alright. Thank you guys for the challenges. Please support the stream. Follow and definitely subscribe on YouTube. I have to get my... Mr. Coffee still here? I have to get my computer fixed. I'm having problems with my caps. Moobot will be happy. Mr. Coffee, can you put out the YouTube? I have to get my hands-free keyboard. Or whatever it's called. Alright. Mohor. Knight b1, knight d2, knight c4. I didn't analyze the move b4. You know, when he plays b4, I was going to have to play something weird like b4, a4, cb4, knight a6, d takes c6, bishop takes c6. No, d takes c6, b takes c6. Queen takes d6. Bishop f8. Followed by queen moves and knight takes b4. Mr. Coffee for the new keyboard fund. You know, it's really gonna have to get a new keyboard. Ironically, I never spilled a drink on it like until yesterday. But nothing happened yesterday. It was already messed up. I spilled some water on it. Didn't seem to affect it though, luckily. It's just this cheap construction. I don't know why I'm playing asymmetrical English. I swore it off. But you tricked me. Played knight f3. I should really play d6 on move 1. I'm done playing this. c4, c5. It sucks. It's just boring. Very hard to play for a win with black. Okay, e3. I mean, e3 is a bit too passive for white. It's okay, though. I mean, you're equal. I remember once I beat a Slovenian FM in this line, but I had a really horrible position. It was like a hedgehog. White's supposed to play knight b3, and then he got a really big hedgehog. I remember I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose. And then somehow he overextended and lost. Alright. But anyway, that was years ago. I've been playing this stuff for too long. The on-screen keyboard, it's a nightmare. Nothing I hate more than the on-screen keyboard, or using the on-screen keyboard. This is dry, dude. I guess I should play d5. It's my own fault playing this. Do not play c4, c5 if you want to win with black. Would be my advice. It's good for a draw, though. Jim! Speaking of draws, Jim is a fighter. One of the biggest fighters here. Welcome, guys, to the stream. Too many streamers. Wow. Okay, that doesn't seem right. B4. Knight takes d4, c5. Bishop takes c5. Knight a4. Bishop takes b4 check. Knight takes d4. Queen takes d4. Queen takes d4. Pawn takes d4. Knight b5. I mean, d takes c, knight b5. That's probably not a problem. I'm just making sure he doesn't have anything sort of weird here. Weird tricks. Takes a knight b5. I doubt that's good. d4, knight b5, knight d5, bishop c4, a6. Bishop takes d5, a takes b. Probably better for black. So there's nothing fancy for white. Fancy chess sucks. Moves like knight to b5. I had all sorts of tricks there. But now things are different because you actually might have this threat. White is starting to equalize. I have a plan. Double Mubat. What is a double Mubat? We should get a second Mubat. Roombot. We should call them Roombot. After my former vacuum cleaner, which was stolen. Mysteriously stolen from my estate sale. Nobody had bought it, like, right into the last moment. I saw it sitting there. Then it, like, disappeared. I kind of wanted to save it. Poor Roombot. Who stole my Roombot? Do I know Gabor Naj? Naj Gabor? Should I know Naj Gabor? Naj Gabor he's a good kid. He's talented. Yeah, I know. I've known him since like 2000, maybe 11. He's not a kid anymore. He's a kid to me. He's not a kid. He's like, to me, he's a kid. He's probably like 25, maybe older. No, he's not a kid. Not really a kid. He's in his mid-20s, I think. Everybody's a kid. Asturbate's a kid. Why, Jim? He's not like a close friend of mine, but he's always been correct by me. He plays a lot of tournaments. Very active. See what bullet chess does to you? Turning you into animals. Like vicious animals. See what it does? It turns normally friendly individuals into vicious animals. The evils of bullet chess. He's a pretty sportsmanlike player. Man, he had this game I remember 2 years ago. It was brutal. He was playing Alexei Alexandrov, and Alexandrov beat him with rook and bishop versus rook and bishop versus rook. It was painful to watch. Like time pressure, trying to defend in time pressure. I've never actually seen a title player go down in that ending. But it's the degeneration of chess due to sudden death time controls. He's a very strong blitz player, and blitz and rapid. Speaking of Roomba, I feel like, man, my horror is strong, dude. 2,000. I have no time left. Oh, I have this. It's a very key move. I almost didn't play it. It's like, wow, you're 1872? Blitz? Damn, dude. Might is like the Rock. But speaking of Roomba, White's vacuuming skills are pretty strong. He might be the one who stole my vacuum. Have you seen my vacuum? Who didn't play like a 2100 either? Me? I'm playing like 2100. Here we go. Speed and playing. My opponent is 2,000 in rapid and classical, 1,700 in bullet. He's played super fast too. This is like a classic endgame grind. It's a draw, but it's not an automatic draw. I mean, I'm just saying it probably should be a draw eventually if White defends correctly. But he is slightly worse due to the pawn structure. But I mean, this player is just too strong for 1,800. It's like, he had b5 there. Didn't I have a very similar game against someone else recently? I don't think this is winnable. I mean, you can win it by mistakes. White's definitely way too good for 1872. He doesn't make mistakes. Extremely fast and extremely good at vacuuming. You'd have to be like 2100 at least. Normally. Now he just made an outrageous blunder. Because he's trying to play too fast. No doubt, like, just doesn't play increment games. Uncharacteristic blunder. For someone who played the game that well, it's ridiculous to... You just can't adapt. I mean, I'll bet that this player, he doesn't use increment in his games or something. Because he just played like it was sudden death. It'll just take a little while to stop making that kind of mistake, but you can't treat increment games like it's sudden death blitz. He has a totally drawn position. Plays G4. There's no way for me to win this position because my king can't penetrate. I can try to win, but it's not enough. Even this position, bishop takes d5. I don't like this exchange, but I don't think there's a way for my king to get in. Technically, this is a mistake to play bishop takes d5, but I mean, I just don't think that black can win. There's no way in. The computer is saying to actually literally sacrifice a pawn with f5. So this would be my only way to get the king in. As my friend Charles Hurtan once said, sometimes in like same color bishop endgames, it's better that all your pawns are on the wrong color. Literally, like the fact that like every single pawn is on the wrong color is a better drawing setup than like half your pawns being on the wrong color. It just sort of, everything is blocked out. It's just totally drawn. I don't know why, he just wasn't thinking. Just trying to trade everything off. It's just drawn. I mean, white played really well. The game's just simply a draw. I don't know how I would, go about winning such a position. He also missed this move, b5. So he just stopped calculating, Like b5 didn't work on the previous move because I take and take on a3. But the minute that my king steps here, this is a blunder. Because he has b5, and when I take on b5, he takes with the bishop with check. So it's just a dead draw now. If he wants to vacuum, this was the best try. Now good luck winning this position. There's no way to win. Rubens Morales Vampire Princess, Brosador, and Ryan from Malaysia. You have enough games? Okay. But that's just a drawn position. Nothing I could do. But it was like, he played the game like he was playing for a draw. It was inconsistent at the end to play g4. I don't know why. I guess he's just trying to trade everything off. Nimzo. I don't really have a very good variation in the mainline Nimzo. Can you resign our correspondence game and start a new one? You can always resign, man. It's not against the rules. Don't need to ask permission to resign. It's sort of a passive-aggressive way of saying that you don't really want to admit you had a lost position. No, I don't think you're necessarily losing. You're just bored with the game. I don't mind if you resign, especially if it's rated. Is this a mistake? What else would I play? Yeah, but you have a 3-1. You have a 4-2 majority on the king side. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I'm winning or not, but I don't know. Yes, you misplayed it, though, because you were better. And now you're sad. Queen c2. I've played this position quite a few times, never run into this particular move. So I would think the queen itself would be vulnerable along the c-file. My rook has a square to move to in case of emergency. His threat is like bishop g5. What if I just played bishop b7, let him play bishop g5? I'm skeptical of this. What if I give him my h7 pawn? But actually, I mean, bishop g5, h6, there's no need for that. So at least I have rook c8, gaining a tempo. Bishop g5, rook c8. Knight f6, bishop f6, queen f6, bishop h7 check, losing a piece. No, not exactly. I think that's very dangerous for white, though. See, he lost the tempo. On the plus side, he got my knight to go to d7. Sometimes the knight on c6 can put more pressure on his center from c6. Not all that different from the last game. We might end up with another isolated queen pawn, but not that many pieces on board. Looks suspiciously similar to the last one, but not quite as locked. That bishop isn't right. That needs to relocate. I really got to find a decent variation in this system for black. Been too lazy over the years to really work on the main line of the Nimzo. Black is slightly better. I think this might be a mistake, but I kind of understand it in a way. Generally speaking, when you have an isolated pawn, you don't want to trade pieces because it magnifies the disadvantage inherent in your position. On the other hand, mine is technically a good bishop. See, that's why chess is hard, because you have these... You basically have these competing concepts. Now, who's to say, like, which principle is more important in a given moment, right? What would Karpov do? So how do you decide? You know, I try to stick with the general principle not to exchange for the most part when I have a bad structure. He should be actually willing to trade the knight if he trades anything, I would say. He's weakened the c3 square here. I think that's going to be relevant. By playing b3, he gives me access to this square. Probably not like a winning the game level mistake, but though any move, any solution involving how to defend the pawn on a2 would induce some sort of weakening, a3 or b3. He could have played a4. Actually, that was the first thing I looked at. That's why I played my f rook to c8. Maybe he should play a4, attempting to trade a set of pawns. It's a better solution. Now a4 drops a pawn. Most likely. The knight on c3 will just wreck him. But again, if I play knight c3, he can play rook c1 and then some tricks. We're going to go for it. I'm going to have to play b4, which means he'll be able to trade pawns with a3. Tartakover claims something like knights outposted on the 6th rank are winning, but I don't know about this one. It's just not. I mean, the position is fairly simplified. I feel like he can survive by playing around it. He can't trade the pawns now. So I was expecting rook fc1, b4, a3. Now there's rook e5. Not sure if I should be concerned about that or not. Corresponding weakness on e6. He's playing really fast. What is 0 inaccuracy, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders? The video from yesterday when I was my game. Yeah, you're welcome, LVN. That's what we do. That's my job. I'm a kid. Uh-oh. No, I said it backwards. I'm a kid. That's my job. Macaulay Culkin. Home Alone. All right. Home Alone quotes. I have a threat? Yes, sort of, maybe. But you defended it. Wait, why did I play rook c8 when there's no file to use over there? Seems kind of weird, doesn't it? Oh no. Another player who's fast compared to my speed. We try to pace ourselves. What time is it? We started at 11 a.m. We're trying to get close to 1:30 for the stream to last 2.5 hours. We've got a stream on this Sunday, guys. Please check out my YouTube channel. Jim's up to 1,100 this week. Thank you for the bit donation, sir. Waiting for Mr. Slowhand to lose. Oh, he's got A3. No, you can't do that. He forgot the other threat. That's self. What's happening? Self-immolation. Does he have a threat here? I'm a little concerned about it. Oh my God. See, I'm so pressured clockwise. Well, he had rook d3. Totally missed it. He might even be winning after rook d3. That's so sick. How do I defend after rook d3? Oh, I had queen c8. I wouldn't have even seen it. Queen c5, queen f8, I mean. I was panicking. I didn't see it. Maybe my only good move. Literally is. I'm not sure I would have found it. I didn't find it, and I had like 10 seconds left. The only move. Other variations, I'm groveling for a draw with my king on f7, but here I can play queen c5, check, takes, and queen f8, and we're fine. I don't think I would have found it in the time pressure. For some reason, I didn't see queen c5. Guys, we have 45 minutes left. Definitely enough for 3 games, maybe more. Didn't take your challenge. Your challenge is last in the list. Wait, we were going from bottom to top? I didn't know. The key works from top to bottom. Asterbase played loads of rapid chess. Yeah, I ask everybody to have 100 rated games or so. This is a new account. Yeah, it's a new account. I don't know about that. Forgot your password. It's the other one. I hate when it happens. I got so many passwords to manage, you know. I just opened a new account. LVN has 3,000 rapid games. I normally don't like to play accounts with less than 100, but at least 50. Otherwise, people are trolling me. They're just like creating an account like that day to troll me with. All right, so the Tartakover variation. Last time you didn't play h6, or was it someone else? I'm just kidding about the password thing. It was sort of a subtle, failed joke. But, e3, b6, Karpov. It's impossible to get an advantage for white in the bishop g5, queen's gambit. What used to be the main line. Everyone plays like bishop f4 now. But that's also like impossible to get an advantage. It doesn't matter what you play. I was joking with someone yesterday. Okay, this was a weird move order. But if you played like d4, d5, c4, e6, maybe we should start playing like queen to c2 on move 3. The second account. Well, if that was coming from Arsenal fan Jim, I would definitely not not play them. That's the rule. Definitely not play them. Jim has a soft heart. What am I going to do? I screwed up. Now you distracted me. And you made me castle. Damn it. Damn it, Jerry. The whole point is that I'm supposed to play bishop takes f6 now. This is not the first time I've made this mistake, but then the whole variation doesn't make sense. Now I have my bishop on e2 in a position where it should be on d3. This is Karpov's strategy. Bishop takes f6. Then you close the diagonal with c takes d. So basically I'm like playing black now or something like that. I just have my bishop on e2. No advantage whatsoever. Anyway, I probably wouldn't have much, but the bishop is supposed to be on d3 in this type of situation. Basically just slightly passively placed, which means I have no place to put my queen, by the way. For those of you who are wondering why it matters, probably the placement of the queen at e2 is essential. We just don't have a good place to put it. It's like the Catalan with black. You end up having to put your queen on like e1, some ridiculous square. Maybe in certain situations this would be okay for me, but like pawn takes, I could play a hanging pawn sort of position. Objectively, white has no advantage. Knight takes d5 doesn't help. I'm just kind of pissed off that I forgot the move order. I've never done that in a tournament game, but I've done it several times here on the stream. I've forgotten to play bishop takes f6. I've done it in simuls a couple of times. It's counterintuitive. You know, I don't normally give up my bishop for a knight, like without an objective validation, you know. It is a counterintuitive move. In fact, the engine doesn't like it. I had a tournament game a couple of years ago with an FM from Hungary, and I remember like analyzing this. Probably the computer says like black is better by 0.1 after bishop takes bishop takes f6, but I think that, you know, Karpov knows a little bit more than Stockfish. This is a surprise. I really think you should play bishop takes d5, and black is fully equal. Very possible black is fully equal here as well, but it's not quite as easy to play. At least here there's some sort of hope for white to get something. Okay, the first concern is b3 being possible as a break. So if I play maybe like queen a4, c4, b3, I gotta make sure that he doesn't have a good c4. This is a standard idea in this type of structure. The Caro Can, Capablanca to come here. It might even transpose. Yeah, that's pretty insightful that you know that move. Standard Tartakover plan to meet queen a3 with king f8. I mean, there are some defending the queen on e7 and going into endings. That's impressive. I had other plans though. I was thinking of playing like bishop e5. Objectively, I don't know that bishop e5 really does anything. Fully equal. I'm going to change the dynamic here. Stop giving him hints. That's the thing that we have to watch out for. I had a game like this once in the New York Open against a 2,100 player, and I won. Can't remember his name. It was a guy from like Colorado, I think. What is this? The problem is d4. We have to watch out for. Okay, not an issue right away. Obviously, we have knight takes d4. You know, so again, like this move might be an idea to play king f8. b4. Black really should be okay here. So I don't like this move. I don't like b3. But I don't really like any of my moves. He insta-took it. He anticipated me playing b4. But honestly, I think you should play c4, probably. It seems like this way I'm microscopically better. Maybe I'm being too optimistic. He had rook a8 there. He's almost like pre-moving randomly. Your bullet play is amazing. You missed bishop takes f3 though. The one move tactic. Yeah, amazing speed. I don't understand how he's 1700 in bullet. It's excellent speed. Probably you should think a little bit more though. You know, you're like playing too fast for this time control. You're just playing too fast. I mean, instead of trying to flag me, you know, you need to use the time to try to play the best possible move. Too much focus on trying to flag me like it was 5-0. You can't flag people in 5+3. That's why I use this time control. The flagging isn't really the main point, you know. Chess remains the main focus. Playing good moves. That's why there's a 3-second increment. You can't let time become the more important factor, the way you can in sudden death or like 1-second increments. I hate when the game degenerates into just clicking the mouse. I mean, then it's not chess anymore. It's something else. But anyway, it was a good game. I mean, you equalized. And it should have been equal. But I mean, one critical question might be when, you know, if you want to think about that game, when you played b4, c takes b4 instantaneously, why not consider creating a protected pass pawn with c4? I mean, I think that should be the first choice, you know, strategically for black. It's more complicated. That's the problem. You know, the position would be a lot more complicated if you decide to go down that route with c4. So very accurate move order by black here. I also played the system for both sides. Wasn't really played much. It wasn't really played much, this variation, until the last 10 years. I do play both colors in this variation. I think it's kind of a critical line. And even this he knows. Wow. He's 1500 in rapid? What? How are you 1500 in rapid, but classical 1944? Doesn't make sense. I don't like to see that when people have this weird rating. Maybe he just doesn't play rapid anymore. I mean, like he's got, you know, that's weird, but whatever. His other ratings are all around the same. Yeah, I would guess he played 1500 rapid when he was playing 2 years ago or something. Yeah, no, that would be my guess as well. But not too many people know this variation for black, to play e6. I was actually very, very surprised that that's black's best move. For years, I played knight takes c3. To know this is not easy. You know, most like 1900 players on lichess aren't theoretically up to date on the most trendy variation of the Panov. Now I can't remember what I'm supposed to play. Knight a4. I think I have a game with black. Maybe knight a4. Certainly other moves are possible. Just relax. Yeah, I mean, I may not just play them. And why are they saying that stuff? It's a child. Comment. I don't understand. Are you even understanding that there's a list of players and you're on the bottom of the list, so we're going in order? That's why I didn't play you? Maybe that's difficult to understand. I don't know, you know. But you had another account which I blocked, I think, and I'm going to overlook that. But honestly, trolling me, actually, they're still at the bottom of the list. So what happened? They left the list and came back, is what happened. Now they're at the bottom of the list. It's not my fault, but that's funny. They left the list and then came back, and it's my fault that they're on the bottom of the list. It's always my fault. You left the queue, played a game, came back, and now I'm afraid to play you. No, that's not what happened. Queen c7. What do we do? Develop pieces. Black is playing very scientifically. This is probably like number one move. Aronian Caruana or something. My literal last game inspiration was against the 2300 Prodigy with black. Not sure where I'm supposed to go here. Queen d1, queen d3. Black's like a grandmaster level preparation. I would play the same way with black. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I probably faced knight a4 because I played queen d6 in my game with black. So it had to be here. Knight a4 instead of knight e4. In which case I played this. Not possible here. This is looking good for black now. But this player is way too low rated to know like 20 moves of theory in a kind of rare Panov, I would think. Possible. I would expect this much knowledge from like a master. No, I guess 95, I repeat position and draw or something. That's probably black's best move. I've also used this maneuver. Rook b5. I'm not sure it's good in this position. This was what I did against whatever the kid's name was. Threatening rook sacrifices on f3 with black. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to play against a system that I like to play myself. Queen c4, rook b4. If I play queen d1, then rook d8. You can see the engine. I don't think the white is really better here. But it's all theory. It's all in the opening book. Knight a4 is the main line. Now black played the #1 move, according to the engine. a5 is interesting. No one's played that. Actually, queen b6 is the #1 move. Queen c7. So this is the problem with knight e4 then, because of queen b6. The computer doesn't agree though. It thinks that knight e4 is a good move. So knight e4 should be played more often. Black's supposed to play queen b6, now queen c7. And then Tisdall played bishop d2. I'm playing like Anish Giri. Giri Nepomniachtchi from 2019. c5? This is stupid. Actually, Nepomniachtchi lost exactly the same way. I think it was Nepomniachtchi who lost exactly the same way against someone else. It wasn't this game. He lost a game sacking a pawn. I guess it's not a pawn sack, but what's knight c5? How does this work? Knight c5, bishop d4, knight d4, queen c5. It's a dark square bishop sack. Even here, black is only a tiny bit worse. I didn't like queen c2 because of knight b4. It's the same thing though. Alright, queen d3, knight b4. I just allow repetition. I don't know, black knows this too well for a 1900 player. Alright. Asmir. Don't make fun of my man Giri. Dude just plays correctly, you know. I mean, I don't think people should make fun of him. He's extremely strong. You know, he has a lot of draws, but he almost never loses. And he tries to play objectively correctly. He doesn't gamble like a lot of other people. No, I respect his game. He's trying to play like the best move without taking risks. Chess is a draw, by the way. Like, Asmir, where are you? Chess should be a draw. Like, there's no doubt. A lot of people like constantly make fun of Giri, so I'm sort of all automatically having to defend him all the time. Yeah. But I mean, where's Asmir? Just the other day, yesterday, someone randomly was making fun of Giri. Chess definitely should be a draw. I don't think it's a win for white, you know. Almost certainly not. The margin is just too small for it to be a win for white. That used to be a debate, right? I don't think it's a debate. You know, the margin is too small. The first move advantage margin is just too small. Think about it. It has to be a draw. G4. This is very, very bad move. The Grob. I don't know where I put my Dorian book, where he's talking about weird openings. He has some weird, funny comments about the Grob. No, I can't remember where I put it. Maybe H5. What? What? I like how my opponent from the last game is like asking what the opening is called. Like, yeah, you can play 17 moves of theory and not know what the opening is called. That's believable. Not really a main line though. Knight e4. Actually, you played a new move with Queen c7, but it's absurd to claim that you don't know what the opening's called. That's like, I'm a 12-year-old girl from Africa and I'm playing like a 2600. And I've never played in a tournament. People like to troll me. They think that I'm very naive. Close Sicilian with an extra pawn on g4. Highly dubious. Interesting. Now what do I do? G6. If you play like 15 moves of that Panov with black and you don't know what the opening's called, you were using an opening explorer to make your moves. Now I think I should actually sacrifice, I could actually consider sacrificing the pawn back. I don't know. Probably not. The engine will just tell me, no, you should just take it and go into this. Alright. I don't like my structure, but clear pawn up. White has weaknesses on the white squares. Very, very dubious. Much more serious than my problems here. F5. Take away all the central squares. That's the problem. You know, if he didn't have these white square weaknesses, I would say, you know, maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but it's far more serious than my problem of the double pawns. White is just like lost here. Mainly this, you know. I can't believe I was actually thinking about not taking back on e5 in retrospect, like this position. Speaking of fancy chess, not taking this pawn back would have been fancy. Really, and actually trading queens is perfectly safe for me, and a simpler way to play with almost no risk. White is just lost on the h file with no counterplay. Guys, I'm doing a simul on Sunday, 6:30 p.m. here, CET on lichess. Via Twitch, our stream and commentary. The one little issue is how to develop all my pieces. That's Only question. Knight f6. But where? Where to go from there? Where to put my pieces? Maybe knight h7, knight g5 would be like optimal. The only problem is if I play knight h7, he might be able to move his h-pawn forward. This being paralyzed is key. A nice plan for black is rook d8, rook h7, rook h7, rook d7, rook h7, resigns. Rook d8, rook d7, rook h7. I almost played bishop a3 check, but I realized like that really has no point. Misplacing my bishop, I don't see any real benefit of that move. We need to win the game over here on h2. So maybe something like rook h4, knight h7, knight g5. He also could play e4 at some moment. Rook d8, rook h7 is a beautiful plan. The knights are doing nothing. If he plays knight a4, I'm in the center, all over him, dead. Instantly dead, probably for white. So this move stops knight e4 or discourages knight e4, which is a cool idea. But it doesn't do anything about plan B. B. Plan B. Plan A and plan B. Now allowing for bishop c3, it was a nice idea. He plays knight to g3, making way for that knight, and now he has bishop c3. Bishop c3 going after my e5 pawn, but let's say, yeah, this is the issue. Problem. Now we have a legitimate problem. Nice defensive plan by white with a limited amount of time and resources. Maybe I needed to actually last move I could have tried g5 but then e4. Okay, we have a problem with the e5 pawn. It's going to have to be defended, but how? It's very unfortunate. I don't like this. But I don't see another way to protect e5. Awkward. And the whole plan narrowly works. He's going to have knight f4, actually. Very dangerous. Bishop c3, rook d1 check, king d1, knight h7, knight f4, bishop f7. h3. No. I'm just trying to get the knight in there. Just a mere distractionary tactic. Bishop a5 it's a sideshow. Doesn't really do anything while we focus on plan B. You know, I have to look for f4, but I don't see how I can do it. This is our main plan. Possible to take with a knight, but I don't see the point. Not part of the agenda. But he just played this rook check. Now what about that? That's a problem. A fatality. Aha. But now your plan C becomes a factor. White has to play bishop e1. That doesn't look good. It's another route to g5. Sideshow Bob. Literally. Everything's protected. And it's over. Should be over. Too many pawns. Pawn amoeba. Maybe knight c3. I don't know what he should do. Aha! Another trick. Oof. 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 That's not very healthy. He does have e1 covered, which is good, but his h1 rook is not in a happy place. Think happy thoughts. Okay. Did I miss that last move? Totally forgot about it. Yeah, the Grob. Grob is not good. Oh, I have time for a last game. Last game, guys. Haber-Bomb. I gotta go. I'm gonna be late. We're supposed to end in 5 minutes. Note that I take the challenges in order that I get them. No complainings. New system. We played this already against you, Haber-Bomb, yes? Gotta keep him on his feet. No, on his toes, right? On his toes. The Lichess defense. I told you guys about this. It's like totally disregarded by most books. When I showed it to Grandmaster Ivan Farago, he was like, yeah, that's a totally standard line. Modern chess theory, as explained by veteran grandmasters. A little inconsistency. Knight f3 is a simple solution. That's what I played. But it sucked. Zako played h6 here. Maybe that's the best move. But it's hard for me to believe. It really is. And I went crazy and lost. Because I had so much hatred for h6 that I wanted to punish black for playing an absurd move. Lost like a bunny in the process. Zako Lichess and I have a very different philosophy about the game. But there's something to be learned from him. So I've never managed to beat him. e3, a solid setup. So what do we do? What do we do? It's not really a Hübner variation. Doesn't know what it is. That's the problem with this position. It doesn't know what it is. My last game for today. Can I play b6? Is that stupid? Just looks a little bit weird, but how bad can it be? My opponent in that game that I'm talking about, willing to play weird things, you know, that he believes in. Whatever you play, you have to believe in it. Even if it's Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. If you don't believe in what you play, then there's no way you're going to play well. I mean, if you don't have faith in what you're doing. So we just have a sort of amorphous kind of Nimzo. It looks rather playable for both sides. It's entirely possible we could be back into some kind of known position. I mean, probably not with the bishop on c1. Actually, it feels more like a Bogo Indian than a Nimzo. Haberbomb 2000. That's your new name. The Haberbomb 2000. What would Nimzovich do? End of stream for today, guys. We will be back on Sunday. No stream tomorrow. Saturday is my sort of day off. Mr. Haberbomb with queen moved again. Bishop takes f3 is extremely tempting, but probably not good. Super duper tempting. Super pooper. Very tempting to do that, isn't it? Maybe it's just worth a try. I think Paschall Charbonneau would play bishop takes f1. He's a big fan of Chigorin. Fans of Chigorin. Knight g5. Have you seen my vacuum? Maybe you've seen it. There it is. But I've equalized. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to me for equalizing. Now what? Not very exciting. That seems a weird move. It's like he's attacking me with very few pieces on the board. With queen h4. Actually, this is going to get weird now. Easter Bunny. Easter bunnies. I feel like my rook is kind of awkward. I gotta get off that. Gotta get off that. The d file is very dangerous. Try to isolate. He'll probably exchange pawns here. Easter bunnies are dangerous. Masturbate. Inspired. Inspired by the great ones. Still not so easy. All we did was win a pawn. It's hardly decisive. Just a mere pawn. Did I miss something like rook g5? That looks kind of nasty. Rook g5, rook f5. Haberbaum fell for the cheap tactic. An astute positional player. All right, it was ugly, but an interesting opening. It was fun. I will see you guys later. I've got to go. Thanks, everybody, for the games. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. And I will see you guys on Sunday. Sorry to those of you who I couldn't play yet. Next time. All right, later, everybody. Thanks from the pond and myself. We'll be back. We'll see you later. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. Bye-bye. Don't be afraid. We'll see you guys Sunday. Simul, 6:30 p.m. CET. Bye-bye.